This is going to be one of the craziest videos I've ever done. Now, I think it's important to start it off by saying I'm still forming my own opinion and judgment on situations. I'm still open-minded. And that's really where I want to start it, but really with. I think it's really important that, we're not naive, we're not gullible. You don't just believe the first thing you see or hear, and you use your discernment. So effectively, you build knowledge over time rather than just stake an opinion immediately. So we garner information, we keep our eyes peeled. If something else comes up, you start putting the puzzle pieces together a bit, but you're still always open to things changing, to your opinion evolving. So I'm going to show a few clips now, some videos. And the thing is, they're not my videos. So it doesn't mean I share an exact opinion of the other person. It's also worth explaining, I think, because some people, I think, do believe everything they see and hear. Some things can be manipulated, so some things can be edited. So you might see a picture and you go, well, these pictures that's crazy. But how do we know that? We don't know if those pictures are original. And the same could be said for video and things. So I think we have to be open-minded. So anyway, to get onto this topic, there's so much to the world that many of us are not aware of. We start to learn it maybe as we grow older. Maybe you'll have an experience that the average person doesn't have. So really, that tells us that there's other experiences that we're not even aware of yet. And it can be so far-fetched like sci-fi. But the reality is, technology is always advancing. And I wouldn't be surprised if there's technologies that are hidden from the everyday person that it would seem absolutely something out of Hollywood. So the suggestions, I think quite rightly at the moment, to be totally honest, because I've been looking, and a lot of it doesn't make sense, like the way Hollywood is. It seems satanic to a degree, but I don't want to sort of say that too much because, again, I'm still processing myself. But there's something quite dishonest and malevolent, to be totally honest, when I look at the way people pursue fame, the way they lose their morals, the way they change so much. It's quite a drastic change. Oh, wow, that's weird, isn't it? As soon as I start talking about that, this shit moves. Great. I don't have the best environment for recording, but that was kind of weird. Forget this little line shit going on. I've got a green screen, but I've got a racing wheel because I do gaming stuff as well. So that's all this shit is. And I got a fan. Let me turn the fan off. I don't want people to start thinking something's... but anyway. Yeah, so anyway, I've always found Hollywood quite surreal. I find it quite crazy. And where's the limits? Does anyone draw the limits with the pursuit of fame? And it's something I would never do. You wouldn't ever see me. Like I'll show it here. That I've been boarding since late 20s. So yeah, I don't know if I'll go bald in my lifetime, but I've been balding. So in my early 20s, I used to like messing with my hair. I loved all that. And then when my hair started thinning a bit, it was like, oh crap, like it hits you, doesn't it? But I've always embraced change with myself. I would never have surgeries on myself. The most I would do with my hair, if it was an option, if technology was there and things, and it was like maybe there's an ointment that just helps stimulate the hair growth, just to help the actual growth. I could get on board with that. If it's talking about hair transplant, no. I am me. I've got grey hairs coming through. I consider it wisdom, perhaps, but I wouldn't be surprised if it derives from stress. But even through stresses we gain wisdom and knowledge. So I'm more embracing of who I'm supposed to be throughout my lifetime, not how I want to sculpt myself and preserve. I don't understand that. So when you look at Hollywood as it is, I mean, a lot of them are self-preserving. They have the plastic surgery, they take the weight loss pills, and that's where it gets a bit confusing, because some of the issues or some of the content I'm going to show, it could come down to those things. Literally, it could come down to the fact that people have just lost their minds to a degree, because they're literally always so either paranoid or they're just so desperate to be the best at something, or to be at the top of this, or to be noticed, that they lose themselves entirely. And you see it so much with the people that do plastic surgery, for instance. They think, I want to fine tune my nose, I want to sculpt this. In the end, they look like a monster. It's like, why couldn't you just leave it? Everybody has flaws. the idea that someone's absolutely perfect is farcical. And then you've got to ask the question, why would you even want to try to be perfect? I talk about it a lot. Our imperfections are what are our quirks. Our quirks are what make us endearing. They're what set us apart. To someone, it's polar. To someone, it's annoying. They don't like it. To other people, it's the thing they love about you the most. Why would you tamper with that? I know that's a physical side there. There's obviously a personality side as well. But, some people just lose their senses. And like I say, I've always had this like genuine distrust of Hollywood, like in general. Not saying everybody is tainted, but there's just something quite sinister and dark about the whole popularity race, really, and all that attaining wealth and status and privilege and all those things. It seems quite dark. Not all of it, but it just does. I consider myself a source of light, so my life is hard as a consequence. And sometimes I wonder that. I think, why the hell is it so hard for me to be successful? I'm not talking about being in the spotlight and shit. I have no interest in that pursuit of fame. I don't care about that. I just feel like, even on a level that's fair and reasonable, my life's always hard and I don't seem to have it easy at all. And sometimes I think, why the hell is it easy for these people and it's hard for some of us? Because some of our journeys are literally supposed to be hard. It's just the way that we're literally contending against this force of darkness effectively. And, they're manipulating energy. They're manipulating reality to a degree. So yeah, by extension, they're creating easy opportunities, but they're selling out. They're selling their souls effectively. And I don't want to say, look, I'm going to share content in a minute. And this, again, it's not my content. Doesn't mean it represents my views, but I'm not scared to share my views. So I'll share what I think in a given moment, but it doesn't mean it won't change, and it doesn't mean I'm accurate. Now, there was something I thought the other day, and I did get a few chills, like goosebumps, and I thought, why is my feeling like that? Normally, that's a confirmation that you got it right, but I'm not here to say I got it right at all. I'm just saying for myself, I thought you're onto something here. And we'll see how things play out in the future. Again, like I say, some things can be put down to these weight loss drugs. You could argue it's to do with that. You could argue it's to do with plastic surgery. We can understand that. Especially when surgeries fade over time. I wouldn't be surprised if like plastic melts or there's some sort of thing. Because a lot of these people, they jump on new trends or new practices. But the thing is, there's no sort of like test period where you can see how things are going to develop. So let's say plastic surgery is new. People jump on the bandwagon. No one knows how durable that is. What's going to happen in the long term? So maybe it does make your face sink, and then people need Botox to try to stiffen. Who knows? I'm just saying. Look, I'm not stupid, so I know that shit can happen. So this isn't a case of like I'm convinced by everything I see. For me, a lot of what I feel is it's energy. So I can sort of sense if someone's good, someone's bad, and I can sense when something seems off. Like it's not true. There's something weird. There's something not right with this. And it goes beyond the superficial. So I'd call plastic surgery, for instance, things like that, superficial. That sense for attention, superficial. But if it's something dark and sinister beyond that, I'll feel edgy. I feel that's not right, and I use my discernment. And the thing is, like, I'm not here to convince anyone of anything, and I'm still learning for myself, right? So I'll form an opinion, but it's only my opinion. I don't need people to agree with it. It's not open for debate. It's just how I feel at the moment, and I'm just processing information. And I'll continue processing information. And like I say, I'll share what I think, but don't think, oh, what he's saying is true. I'm still figuring it out. It's too dark and sinister, and I don't have first-hand experience. And I wouldn't want first-hand experience in this shit, to be totally honest. One thing about me, I can't be corrupted. So if I was ever around any of these types of people, I would see through the bullshit immediately, and I wouldn't even give them my time of day. I definitely wouldn't be coerced into any sort of nefarious shit. So let's just put it that way. I would rather take the longer path to my success, even if it's the very last day of my life. It takes me to the very last day of my life to finally be successful, or just to achieve everything I was supposed to do in this lifetime. I'd see that as a success. If it means I can have that success 30 years earlier, 10 years earlier, whatever, because you sell out and do something else, I have no interest in that. I'm only interested in fulfilling my life in the way it was intended. And that means physical, that means spiritual, emotional, personal development, personality, everything and everything. It's going to be a personal growth journey that's genuine, sincere, and I'm not interested in doing anything in a nefarious way. It means I will talk up on topics when I see an issue, and I will share things I learn along the way, and I'll share my growth. But it's all done from a pure way. You know, there's no way I'm not doing any of this malevolent this shit. I mean, you can see already it doesn't look good when people do it. So let's just put that out there. Really, I'm trying to circumvent some nefarious entity that witnesses me at some point in my journey and thinks, oh, we'll latch onto that one. You can go and do one, mate, because I'll see through you. I'll tell you to go and run. Probably use some harsher words. I'm not an easy target. So the idea you think anyone thinks I'm an easy target, especially to sort of like drain my energy and do shit. You've got nothing coming. I am a source of light. I take it serious. I could use my tarot cards, which I've bought spirits with me. I'm getting goosebumps now. I could ask spirit to interject if I want to ask them for an answer. But we'll see how this goes and whether I even feel I need to at this point, because I asked them this is the thing with me. I consider myself a source of light. I have my spirit guides, my ancestors. I have the angelic realm, and I do things for the right reason, and they're here to help me when I need advice. Before we go over here, I just want to show that side of things, because people might consider that the dark arts. It's not. If you do, it depends what you're doing. I mean, I'm doing things for the purest way, and it's like you can read my book, Losing Mind and Find Your Soul, and that's showing. It does show some dark stuff that's potentially tried to happen, but I quelled that. So anyway, there's a huge spiritual battle going on. Believe that. So there's energies that people are not aware of. There was something I was going to say there. Yeah, I can't remember what I was going to say. But yeah, I could ask Spirit to interject if I want to. Yeah, there was something I really wanted to mention. Oh yeah, the cards I was asking the other day. I literally had in my mind the devil. It was literally the card I was just thinking of. I didn't do it on camera. I didn't need to. It's for me. I've been getting really frustrated with my situation. If you see my other channel, I'm doing a gaming channel, and I'm putting a lot of hours into it, and it's taking up so much of my time. It's getting addicting, but only because I only want to do it for like a month or two, and then I'm going to stop and focus on more professional things. But it does consume my time, and I'm like, what's going on? Like, what do I need to know? And straight away in my head, I was just thinking the devil card. Now, people are going to put that down to the wrong context. Devil is addictions, temptations, and things like that. And it can be stuck in your head, and it's literally those things. It's like you just caught up in things that are just distracting you at the moment, and it's getting a bit overwhelming. And that's what I was thinking was the devil card for that reason. Shuffling, asking what do I need to know. The only card that came out was the devil, and I was like, holy shit, that's crazy. That's what I thought was going to come out. And I'm not going to go on about all the other cards, but I did ask, why am I poor? And I literally, well, I could say what I got. I got the victory card, and communication. So effectively, it's me sharing my journey. You're poor because you need to be poor at this moment to share your journey. That's what I got from it. You will be successful at some point. But yeah, and it gets me thinking. As hard as my life gets, if I wasn't going through it, I wouldn't have it to tell, and I wouldn't have it to process and overcome, and then share how I go through that journey. But anyway, so people can make decisions, make accusations, or you can look down at someone who's going for a period of life that was actually ordained. Why have I got my tarot cards out? That's weird. Okay, well, if Spirit wants to interject, they can. I'm not really good. It wasn't the purpose. I'm going to put them down for a minute. If I decide to use them, I will. I'll just weird. Let's get my display capture up. Right. I've got 3 examples that I'm going to use, and I think they're quite prominent examples personally. One's Selena Gomez, one's Ariana Grande, and the other one is Simon Cowell. Now, look, I'm not saying I'm right or wrong. I'm just open-minded. Some people put it down. You can see the looks. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to get them. I haven't got them labeled right at the moment. So which one's this one? So this one's Selena Gomez. Then we've got Simon Cowell. Then we've got Ariana Grande, right? You could put things down to weight loss drugs. We can put things down to, is it Ozempic? Whatever the hell that's called, that weight loss drug. So we can put it down to 2 things, can't we? A weight loss drug, other chemicals, I guess, substances, and plastic surgery gone wrong or overdeveloped, whatever. And that's where we naturally go, isn't it? It's the easiest thing to correlate in our mind, I think, personally. It's easy to make that suggestion and then continue that narrative because it makes sense. We can understand that. There's plenty of people who had plastic surgery and we hear of weight loss drugs all the time. It's obviously those things. But I'm not sure, but I haven't been sure for a long time because the personality changes are too deep. And it goes beyond that. If you actually look at people's eyes, there's not a lot going on. It's almost like they're robotic. How can I don't know much about weight loss drugs, so I'm not saying that. There could be side effects that do that. I very much doubt it, though, to the level. And it's crazy. And if you had plastic surgery is just facial, isn't it? It's all like the skin. How the hell does it affect your eyes? Now, again, I'm not a scientist, but it doesn't seem right to me. And then beyond that, how the hell does it shift your whole personality? Now, I know drugs can alter your reality and maybe it can mess with your neurons and your brain stems and all sorts of shit. But I'm seeing this is the part that's scaring me the most. Well, it's not really scaring me, it's just opening my eyes, it's just alerting me. It's the fact that the personality shifts are too dramatic for me personally within a very short space of time. And it's just complete opposite of who the person is. So there's suggestion that there has been cloning, and it seemed far-fetched to me, like something out of sci-fi. But I'm starting to think, I'm actually looking at subtle signs that even when people don't point it out, I'm looking for it myself now. So it might be a video that's not even related to cloning at all, but I'm thinking, that seems like a clone to me. I know it seems crazy, right? But we're seeing it now, even if, and again, I'm talking about like what I've seen over time, not what someone's telling me. If anyone's seen these robotics, the animatronics and all this stuff, even in humans now, we're seeing it, not just with AI, but we're seeing it with the robot things, where they literally can make them look real and they can make them interact like a human. Now, you'd say that's very early stages, but how do we know how far advanced other secret societies are? So I don't think it's out of the realm of possibilities that cloning could exist. They can clone a human being somehow. I don't know to the depths of how real that entity is, because I don't know. It makes you wonder whether it's how real is it, and then you start going down those satanic routes where people go really dark arts. I know this is why I said this could be one of the wildest videos I've done. Because the thing is, when you look at like, even movies in general and things, they stem from a truth somewhere or some, what would you call it? Like a legend, like myth. It comes from somewhere where there's been a narrative spread down through history somehow, and whether there's truth to it or not, there's myth and legend, and then we get films as well. And you got to wonder whether anything stemmed from reality with that myth and legend. Just because we don't understand it in our current reality doesn't mean it doesn't exist somewhere and some time, or even some timeline or some universe. This is where we're really expanding here to say, if we have an open mind, anything's possible. Now, this is where it's different, because the reason I have to keep backtracking slightly is I'm open-minded enough to understand that could be happening. But I'm not a naive, gullible. I wouldn't consider myself naive and gullible. And I'm not saying that's exactly the case. I'm saying my mind is so open that I look for everything. And if things start happening in my head, it sort of like goes into some sort of weird, like in my mind, it's like a chart. If I'm not picturing a chart, it's just adding up. That's another point for that. That's another point for that. That's another point for that. My mind is really going heavily towards the cloning. I personally, I'm just where I think there's a very dark underbelly towards Hollywood. And when I say Hollywood, it's that whole entertainment industry, whether it's music, whether it's movies, whether it's even behind the scenes with producers and things, even the studios. Who knows how deep it goes? And I'm not saying everyone's involved, but I believe there's a dark, sinister side to that. I've heard stories of child sacrifices, human sacrifices. I really wouldn't be surprised if that's true. I think that probably has happened personally. It's a bit like, and again, like I said, I think some things come from reality. Like when you look at Rapunzel, I don't know all the Disney stories, but where you got the older lady, she wants her light source. She needs her light source to be youthful. I wouldn't be surprised if that shit really happens. And they've done this animated scenes in films to depict it. And you see it a lot with other setups in the industry as well, where they might make a joke of this in a comedy, or they might make there'd just be something that pokes towards the truth, and it's kind of weird that it's in plain sight like this, you know. Anyway, I know it's far-fetched, but we're going to see some examples now. And you can form your own narrative. It's not for me to explain it. I'm not going to talk. I'm going to try not to talk and explain. But if I have an opinion that I think, I'll just share it. But you don't. It doesn't mean I'm accurate. I'm learning. Not learning. I'm open-minded too. So I don't know if this video is going to show the original Simon Cowell, but I'm sorry. Simon Cowell was very serious. He was stoic. He was very opinionated. He didn't have a lot of compassion for people he didn't know. Like, he was very serious and stern. I understand having a child can soften your heart and all those things, and maybe the loss of people in your life, and it can send you on a different path. But the change has been far too dramatic. Like, we can evolve in our lifetime for sure, and we can adapt. But it was like overnight, the way he changed, it shifted very quickly, and we've just become accustomed to this melted version of Simon Cowell. But it's just something don't sit right. It doesn't. When you look at him, it's not the way he looks. Even if you took away the way he looks, take away the aesthetics and picture him as he is now, it's the way he's behaving. And it's like, what is behind the eyes? It doesn't seem like the Simon Cowell that existed before. So it doesn't feel like his energy. That's what I'm saying. If you talk about energy, it doesn't feel his energy. This doesn't feel like Simon Cowell. So watch how he's clapping and all this weird shit. And it's like, this is just not natural to him. Like, it doesn't feel natural to him. So I just think there's something seriously up with this. And I wouldn't be surprised if it's a clone a long time. Because I don't know if I'm going to have the videos here. I had a video that come up and it said about, I don't know if I should say the name of the celebrity. I probably won't do that right now. But it said that they were cloned. And the cloning was done to help them with manage their everyday, you know, in terms of like publicity and things. So they don't have to do all those things. And then something happened. You know, they're no longer here, but the clone still exists. And it's like, well, that's some deep shit. I'm going to say, look, I was just saying, I'm hearing this sort of stuff. So it does make you wonder whether any of these celebrities have gone, or these people are no longer with us, and we've got this entity that's playing that character. Worth thinking about. Again, it's a wild video, and I weren't going to touch on it, to be totally honest. But then I thought, when is there ever going to be a time to talk about it? Like, I could wait 5 years, 10 years. At the end of the day, this isn't me specifically sharing my opinions. I'm saying what I'm seeing, you know. And I think, well, that's a fair observation, isn't it? It's the same way other people are going to see this content. So let's see Simon Cowell now. I'll try and make it.
They got him right in the kisser. Who the heck is that? I'm telling you, the Simon Cowell that I remember from back in the day wouldn't be caught dead clapping like that.
What I want to say is, remember, what we're doing is we're observing ourselves. So when the person speaks, we're not necessarily going, oh, everything they're saying is gold. They're sharing their opinion like I'm sharing my opinion. What we're doing is looking at the evidence, right? That's all we're looking for. So it can help you translate what's happening a little bit if you want to use what someone's saying. But ultimately, you're not trying to fit their narrative to the image. You want to be able to just see it for yourself and make your own judgments, you know. And that's what I do. I still listen to them if I think, you know, what's their opinion. But I always think for myself.
Tell me, Hollywood, how did you get Simon Cowell to go from this to this? You guys honestly believe that these are the same people? I don't think so. Do you know what vibes this is all giving me?
The eyes
the
don't look right.
1996 classic, Escape from LA. And if you haven't seen it or don't know the plot, I highly suggest you research it.
I'm going to be honest, I didn't really listen to any of this bit about the film because sometimes people go on a tangent. But
and compare it to what we have going on today. Remember, guys, tell a vision. Tell me I'm not the only one who's noticing that Hollywood celebrities and politicians are mirroring the characters of this movie. But tell me, who did it better, guys? The doctor from Escape from LA or Matt Gaetz? You starting to see it now? And Simon and Matt Gaetz aren't the only ones.
I don't know who he is.
It's also happened to Matt Rife, as he went from this to this overnight. Holy new.
Their eyes are just getting weird, aren't they? If you notice this, they look like they're melting. It's like this. It's just this weird thing. And if you notice, I'm not saying it's Simon's case because Simon was famous before, but Matt Rife's fame just went through the roof at one point. I think that's what she's saying. As soon as he hit the heights of his fame, this is how he looked. So you've got to wonder, like, what did you do to get that? You know, It's like some people would do anything to be famous, and I just don't understand it. To be honest, it's like why would you sell yourself, like literally your soul, for that shit? It's like, for what? What is it? What's the point of being known? Like, how does that? I just don't get it myself. How is that the highlight of your life? People that everybody to know who you are, like, you're that terrified of just being normal, ordinary. Wow.
Y'all, you guys, what is going on in Hollywood, and how are you holding that thing up? And then you have celebrities like Zac Efron, who went from looking like Jared Leto's little brother to a David Hasselhoff clone. You guys tell me what's...
I'm gonna be honest, I didn't realize how drastically he had changed. Like, only when you see the comparisons. Again, what am I saying? Be very careful with this stuff. You've got to do your own research, because, like, I could look at that and go, my God, he looks like a freaking... Again, you could argue plastic surgery in this case. How much is selling out? I don't... Look, I'm not saying everybody's cloned. You know, that could just be plastic surgery. But I didn't realize how much he'd changed, Zac Efron, to be honest.
Hasselhoff clone. You guys tell me, who went from looking like Jared Leto's little brother to a David Hasselhoff clone. You guys tell me what's...
I would say that. As soon as she said David Hasselhoff clone, I went, oh shit, he does look like David Hasselhoff. Huh, that's weird. And then I think, did he play David Hasselhoff's role in Baywatch? So that's kind of weird, isn't it? That, you know, you don't know what goes on in the underbelly of Hollywood. That's the problem. Maybe for him, like, I don't want to sort of like speculate too much, but you just don't know, do you? Maybe for him to get the role, he's had to agree to something, and it's put him down this path. Who knows? If you look at the dates of these changes, I'm not saying I wouldn't be surprised. Who knows? People do their own research, you know.
Going on in Hollywood, because to me, this person looks nothing like this person.
Well, I don't think he doesn't look much. I'm not saying that, because I think age as well. I don't know. I mean, does he look the same?
Looks nothing like this person. But they all are starting to look like him.
I'm not sure about the Zac Efron one. That's what I'm saying. I don't just believe everything I say. I'm not sure about that.
Because
he's older. That's when he's probably in his mid-20s, late 20s. I don't know how old he would have been.
This person looks nothing.
Looks like a bit Rob Lowe, doesn't he? Looks like a bit Rob Lowe there. But again, people aged, you know, we age. So I don't know with that one.
Like this person. But they all are starting to look like...
Okay. I'm not sure about the Zac Efron one personally. I haven't looked enough into him. But the Simon Cowell one's always freaked me out, to be totally honest, because he's never looked like it's him. And the way he behaves is totally different. It's like, this is not Simon Cowell that any of us know. That's the part. It's not just the look. It's the whole personality shift. This is frightening. I've been seeing Ariana Grande for the past, 6 months, year? And I'm like, she looks weird. But you don't realise how weird until you see what she looked like before. I always thought she was really pretty, like all the way through, from when she was in the Disney, I don't know, Nickelodeon show, was it? I can't remember what she was in, Sam and Cat, and she was in something else. Was it Victorious? I really can't remember, but I had to watch them when I was young, when my daughter was younger. And you always thought, she was pretty. And then as she she took on a music career, I thought, she's really pretty there. But I actually thought she looked better before, you know, with a natural look. She was changing. But the change from the singer Ariana Grande from a few years ago to the one that exists now is absolutely frightening. First of all, you're putting it down to, I'm putting it down to weight loss things. You're thinking, they've got like this eating disorder, maybe, because some of them just want to be so perfect. Like I say, they start beating themselves up, weirdly. You know, they start abusing their bodies in some way because they just want to be absolute perfect, even though to most people she was perfect. But yeah, they do that. So maybe it's a weight loss drug, and you put it down to that, like she's losing her weight. But the part that's alarming me the most is it's not the way people look, it's the way they behave. It's the energy within them. She radiated really positive, light-hearted energy. She seemed really charismatic. She seemed really nice. Like almost like you could have a load of people in a line, and it's not like she's the one trying to be popular. She wasn't trying. It didn't look like she was trying to stand out. She just naturally stood out. It was like really this natural charisma. That's the energy I got from her, and I think that's why you're attracted in that sense. I really like her. She seems really nice, and now she just seems to have no personality. And I look at her and I just think she seems like a robot that needs to be. Do you know, like if someone's blind and you need to maybe keep your hand on them? I don't know blind people, but I'm just saying in general. Like if they was in a setting where they can't feel their way around the room. So they would have to sit there, and you just you need to make sure they don't do anything that's going to either hurt them or embarrass them. because they can't decide for themselves. There's a video now in a minute. I don't know if it's specifically this one or the next one. And I got the impression that this was like this AI clone thing. That's the impression I got immediately. Was this doesn't seem like Ariana Grande. This seems like something that's a different entity that's been programmed to a degree, but doesn't know how to handle this situation. So the woman it's very strange. It's almost like she resets her. I'm just saying that's what I saw, and I was like, whoa. Now I'm not saying other people. I'm not saying they're saying that. I'm saying that that's what I saw. Other people are saying she just doesn't look right, and she's being maybe controlled by this woman. And I'm thinking the woman seems to be part of the situation to keep her operating properly. That's what it seems to me. And I'm like, this is absolutely mad. Like this doesn't seem natural to me. So Ariana Grande right now to me does not seem natural. Like, doesn't seem real. I don't think she's human. But that's a weird thing to say. That's where I'm at the moment. I'm hoping I'm wrong. And then I'm hoping we see the real Rihanna. But then, even then, it could be she's doing something else. She's somewhere else. Who knows what the hell's going on? These secret society things are freaking dark, man. You don't know how deep it goes. It might be they've gone away for a while where they're having sort of, who knows what shit's done, and then they come back. I don't know. I'm just saying, I know this video's mental. I didn't even think I'll be recording it. But what is going on in the world at the minute, you know? And then it makes you think, like, I've been frustrated in my situation. You know, you want to be successful, you want to do this, but if it's being successful to be surrounded by this shit, I'd rather stay where I am and be struggling. This is outrageous, man. Oh my god, I don't trust people for the best of times. This is just making it less trusting in that environment. So if you're ever doing successful things, you have to just use your discernment so much in a very corrupt, toxic society of that side. You know. Doesn't mean you can't find your way through it, but I can see that being a minefield of shit, the way it is in the entertainment industry over in America right now. If this is true, of course. Let's watch this now. So this is going to be a timeline from 2010, when she was younger, to what she looks like. I don't know if it's going to go all the way to what she looks like now, but it's going to go close. This is the woman that's considered, some people consider her romantic partner. Some are saying handler. I think she's her, the one that keeps her, this freaking clone thing or whatever the hell's going on centered. I think there's something weird. So watch both of them. Look at her energy as well. Well, you're not seeing it so much there. We're going to see it in a minute. It just, yeah, I find it quite alarming how much she's changed. Now, you could say it was just the very last bit there. You could probably put down to those weight loss drugs. But she's already thin anyway. Why would you even need it? But this one here has been adapting as well. She's been changing quite heavily. If you look at the way she has. And I hear a lot of the music industry, certain ones, or even The Weeknd, I think it is, and there's some others, where their music has this satanic ritual within the music. And I've seen some videos on things like that. I think Lana Del Rey as well, you know, she had it big time in one of hers. And there's some, I think Doja Cat, I don't even know who Doja Cat is, but apparently some of these have some literally ritual shit in their concert. And people probably not even aware of it. So there's potentially, in these concert settings, huge satanic rituals that are happening while you're there. And that's crazy. Because think about it, when you go to worship religious, you know, if you're doing it for the higher good, the positive, the light, or mass and things, it adds huge energy, doesn't it? So if you're at a concert thing and you don't even know you're taking part in some sort of like demonic satanic ritual, that person's brought you there, that's very malevolent, isn't it? So, whoa. Anyway, I know it seems mental, but it's like, These are little things. I haven't even got the video of that, but these are things I'm noting, along my way. This is the one where I can't help but think she's a freaking AI robot clone thing. This is not. We've just seen her going through this stages. She seemed very chatty, very talkative, very animated. She definitely didn't have a problem talking. She had no problem communicating. She had no problem expressing herself. So, and she's just going bolder and bolder for some weird reason. I don't know what that reason is. But anyway, she seemed very full of life. Now we're going to see this one. And she does look like a robot. It just switches off. And then someone does something, just moves a collar or something. It's like, what the hell? That's what I noticed anyway. So let's have a look. See, they say mind control. So some people probably think she's under some sort of spell. I don't even think that's Ariana Grande. I think that she doesn't even. It doesn't look real. It looks like though. It does look. It looks like there's those robotic things. Do you see the way? Like, it was at a certain point. Here, she just froze, and it looked like she just she needed resetting or something because she's probably malfunctioning. That's what it looked like to me. It looked like she was malfunctioning, and the other one had to quickly step in because she had no choice, even if it's blatant. Because otherwise there's going to be a meltdown. She's probably just going to... I wouldn't be surprised... Look, I'm speculating now. But I wouldn't be surprised if it just kept repeating the same pattern because literally it would have broke. Let's watch what she does. Look. Just the whole demeanour. There. I'm thinking that now. I didn't think that. I wonder if she's got something on her hand. I wonder if there's something on her hand or there's an electric impulse. So I wonder if there's something there that's when someone's got a certain point on their body where I'm just speculating like crazy right now. Let's say there's a chip on them somewhere and it's like you need to be able to do something to sort of like reset it or do something. It's just weird to me. This doesn't seem natural. That's my point. Like, I'm speculating what it could be. This could be that, could be that. But if you're asking me, do I think that's Ariana Grande? No, I don't. I don't even think that's Ariana Grande. It goes way beyond impersonation at this point. It's not right. It's not right to me. We've seen what she looked like. We've seen how she behaved. She's more than animated. She's more than you. Surely losing weight doesn't make you lose your personality completely. You can't be devoid of a personality. This character isn't even has any personality. I've seen other ones of her as well, and it's like scares shit out of me. Then I've got this one here, which I thought I had more on her. I probably have, but it's hard for me because what it is, when I see the videos, I don't always like favourite them or like them because I just scroll on. I just take information and move on. And then when I want to do a video, I'm like, crap, where's the video? I can't find them again. It's like, I have to just give up. There would be more of her for sure. Selena Gomez, I don't really follow her. But yeah, she seems really weird now. Like, again, we're not just looking at looks because it's easy to target someone on looks. I'm talking about personality. We can evolve. Again, we can grow, we can get more mature, we can do all those different things. But again, it's the way their whole personality has shifted. I can't, again, I'm not going to say everyone's a bloody clone because I don't know which ones, you don't know for sure, none of them may be clones. But they seem clones to me. And if even at the very least, they seem to have a bit like Men in Black. They've had something done where their freaking personality is completely changed, and now they're this minion or something. Because she was quite outspoken about like on rights and things, and now she talks different, and she just looks like an animatronic to me. Again, I'm just saying it, and then people can say what they want.
These are the same people. Watch these videos with me and tell me what you think.
First time that I was authentically 100% honest with all of you. I think it's safe to say that most of you know a lot of my life, whether I liked it or not. And I had to stop because I had everything. And I was absolutely broken inside. And I kept it all together enough to where I would never let you down, but I kept it too much together to where I let myself down. I don't want to see your bodies on Instagram. I want to see what's in here. I'm not trying to get validation, nor do I need it anymore.
So effectively, she was getting quite, she wanted to help people not lose themselves, find yourself and be true to who you are. She had this really, really humble and inspiring outlook, But also, I think there was a fragile side to her. And I think the industry itself, when you look, I think when someone has a vulnerability, the industry plays on it. So, maybe you need therapy, maybe you need something, and maybe you get sent to the wrong person. And then maybe they prescribe drugs. I'm just speculating here. But you can see how maybe your vulnerability makes you an easier target. And of course, when she's speaking out like that and saying all the things that would help the next generation and help people, maybe that's a threat to those who wield power, and they need to rein her in. And so they have, because it seems something nefarious with this, which, again, it could point towards the situations we see with like Britney Spears, where she had a breakdown. It's like some of them may be just completely. Again, this is speculation here. I start looking at other areas, thinking, is there some connection here? Because maybe it's too dangerous for some people to speak about. So maybe they have a full-blown breakdown because they can't talk about it, but they can't unsee what they've seen, and their reality has shifted. And that would make some sense if I look at someone like Britney Spears. She looks like she's going to have a complete meltdown, and she had trouble with just life in general. And it's hard to understand why it's that deep. Like, I understand if there's trauma and all those things, but how deep it is. But I would assume, because the entertainment industry, I'm assuming she's seen a lot more than the average person. So, yeah. But anyway, with Selena, like they've put there's a suggestion that she has an illness, and yeah, maybe she does, maybe she doesn't. That's the other thing, isn't it? Like you don't know someone's genuine medical health. So whether she does or not, I don't know the consequences of said thing, or whether it's genuinely true. But what I will say is, yeah, we mature, and yeah, we grow older, and different experiences, different privileges maybe change your reality to a degree, because you don't really have the same issues that maybe you had before. So maybe you don't care so much. Look, that happens. You can become harder as an individual. But they seem very, very dramatically different, in the same way Simon Cowell looked very, very dramatically different, and his whole personality was warped. So it was like a freaking parallel timeline shift or some weird shit. This isn't the one we know, and this isn't the Selena Gomez that I saw. Again, age is different, but this is way beyond that. You might know someone when you're younger, and then you see them 10, 15, 20 years later. Yeah, okay, they've grown different. Maybe you've not got the same thing in common, but you wouldn't expect this much of a dramatic change where they now look like a freaking robot. That's my point,
Because I had everything, and I was absolutely broken inside. And I kept it all together enough to where I would never let you down, but I kept it too much together to where I let myself down. I don't want to see your bodies on Instagram. I want to see what's in here. I'm not trying to get validation, nor do I need it anymore.
I will say, when I'm with my sister or we're in the car, sometimes, like Who Says is one of the songs but I was 16, and that's more of a nostalgic feeling. But no, I don't like listening to myself. Until tell me, be free and, sing this way, and yeah, he's sweet.
There is no way these are the same people. Watch these videos with me.
like I said, there's many more videos that I've seen, and other people, not just these subset of people. There's been others, more content, and I just, like I say, I just look at it again. I have an open mind. Videos can be edited. I can't say for sure these are two genuine images either side. These are things to take into consideration. But it's the energy of it all. Now, we know there's AI exists, so people can manipulate content. So was that genuine? Was that genuine? These are all added layers now to the mystery, because we don't know how much is actually, raw image and raw video footage, and even raw sound. But it isn't about picking at people and saying that person's fake, that person's fake, that person's fake. It's about understanding our own reality, and that's really what it comes down to. We are all the main character of our lives, and it's really important, I think, to know sort of the world we're part of, so that you can be more aware of the traps and the pitfalls, and the things that can literally come against us, really. Because if that's happening there, it can happen anywhere in your life, you know. And you don't know what room you're going to be in, and you don't know who you're going to be surrounded by. So it's always use your discernment and judge energy. That's what I'm saying. So, like, for instance, let's say there was a situation, and like I'm aware. I'm not an idiot. I'm aware. It would be, I think, to come face to face with any of this. If it was, like, let's say they were genuinely like either, let's say it's satanic. Either it's satanic rituals and there's some weird dark shit going on, or there's been cloning, which maybe correlates or doesn't correlate with said rituals. But let's say there's something nefarious here. And let's say you're in a situation where your star is shining. People want to see more of you. There's going to be opportunities in the entertainment industry. You have to sort of like somehow like interact. There's going to be a moment where you come face to face with something like this. I think that's the part that's going to be surreal, because they're just like, whoa, I know that's not real. I know you're something wrong. I think that'll be the being. But like by being aware, you know, you're almost like your mind's prepared for it. You know, if I hadn't known and seen it, if I wasn't aware, and then you got put in a situation like that, it'd be confusing as hell, wouldn't it? Because you know something's off, but you can't really explain it in your mind. Like, what is it that's off? Maybe it'd be a little bit more susceptible to being taken advantage of, because you just maybe, you know what I mean? Like, let's say there's a meeting and they say, right, now we need to go to this event, and then you're saying, oh, okay, because it's all part of the process. It's familiar. Yeah, I get it. This is the process. I get it. Because you don't know no different. Now alarm bells would be ringing, you know, meet here. Well, I would want to meet somewhere where I feel comfortable. And then it's like, right, now we need to go to this event. Well, what's at this event? You know, and all those things. And it's like, I'm not just going to follow people like sheep. I'll go where I feel comfortable. If I feel something's off and I feel like that event, straight away, alarm bells are going in my mind, that event isn't right for you, I would naturally just go, no, I don't want to go to that event. And if they say, well, unfortunately, you have to go to the event because it's part of the process for you to get the role. No, I'm not doing the event. So if it means you miss out on an opportunity, then I miss out on the opportunity. You know, I'm not putting myself in a vulnerable position or get sent somewhere where it isn't natural, because that's the process to activate and get an opportunity. You can shove that up your ass. You know what I mean? I'm not doing that crap. And by being aware, it means it doesn't happen. So if you get an opportunity, it's just well-deserved and you finally got your breakthrough. But there's no way I'm going to have a breakthrough off the back of that sort of shit. Do you know what I mean? So I know some people say that and they sell out. Me, I wouldn't say it's comfortable being poor, and I'm not saying it's comfortable struggling, but I got this far. And I managed to do what I do my own way. I've done my books. In my lifetime, there'll probably be about 20 books. Whether I'm successful, yeah, okay, it hurts. It does hurt. It's frustrating as well, but it's more hurt. It feels insulting, to be totally honest, to work so hard. And I think trying to have such an impact, a positive impact, what I'd consider, and it doesn't seem to work out, and maybe it's for the next generation. That's insulting to me. If that's my path, it is a little insulting that Spirit would put me in a situation where I don't get to live or experience something positive. Like, my life's got to be hard the whole way through to help the next generation. Like, sure, you could give me something nice, but if it's my path, then it's my path. So if it's a case of I do 20 books, I don't get to live a luxurious life. I don't get to live some privilege. I don't get really nice things. I don't have nice things happen to me. If it's my path, it's my path. I'd like to think there will be nice things along the way, but if it's not, you know, I'm not fighting against my destiny. So some of these people in the entertainment industry, they do. They want to fast track everything. They want something that was probably not supposed to be theirs because they got caught up in the glamour. They got caught up in popularity. They wanted privilege. They wanted status. They wanted something. And it's just, so they decided to sell their destiny for it. And they're paying the price now, because if you look at any of those people, even if you say that they're not clones, they're not this, they're not that, absolutely, you know, people can form their own opinion. But what I would say, if you just look at any of it, does the second version of any of them look happier or lost and sad compared to the previous version? And none of them look right. even Simon Cowell, as negative as he was back before, seemed very comfortable with that. That was his personality. Now he just looks strange. Like there's a deep regret somewhere. There's something not quite right with him. Ariana Grande doesn't even look like she's with us anymore. And Selena Gomez looks like she's stuck behind this cast. It doesn't even look like that's the real her. It just looks strange. So, I think all is said and done, you're better off just being true to yourself. You know, everybody else is just lost. So those who are just looking for a cheap, easy way out in life, it might look glamorous as their star starts to shine. But if you look at where they end up, it's like you wouldn't trade places with them for a moment, you know. So just be true to yourself. That's really the main thing. And don't sell out. Don't do any sort of like these quick gain shits. Just keep true to you. As to whether any of this stuff is true and whether it's the reality or not, in some ways it becomes irrelevant. You know, I've seen some of this stuff as well. I didn't show it here because I can't be bothered to even look at it, to be totally honest. They're showing, is it the Masons, Freemasons and all that stuff? And they're showing the signage, the signs and the symbolism and all that crap. I call it crap, but I don't know. And they can harness energy, and a lot of state leaders, they showed it with Trump. Again, I don't know if it's manipulated. You know what I mean? So like, that can be edited. I'm not going to sit here and say that's true. I don't know. And I know some people live by that, and some people sit with their hands like this shit, trying to, they do that because it's apparently supposed to harness energy and all sorts of things. I don't do none of that. I'm not interested in any of this crap. Again, even if it means I'm losing out in some way, I'd rather just lose out. I'm not doing any dodgy shit that there's a potential negative connotation. Now, you could argue when I do tarot, yeah, that there's that side of things, because I get it. You could communicate with a darker entity, a negative entity, if you do things the wrong way. I believe I do it the right way. But yeah, it's up to everybody how they interpret things, you know. But that's literally where I am. I am spiritual, and I feel I'm here for a purpose, and I'm fulfilling that purpose. But I have no interest in doing anything other than what I'm supposed to do here in this lifetime. I think the thing is with me, I just accept the life I've been given, the hand that's dealt. I accept the frustrations, even if it lingers longer than I think's fair. And, you know, I do get fed up as well. But I would never, ever get to the point, and I never have, where I'd get fed up to the point where I would switch teams. You know, so I would never, ever, 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 ever go to the dark side. I mean, if you're going to talk about it like that, if you're going to talk about like Star Wars and things, I wouldn't do it. Couldn't happen to me. When this lifetime ends, our soul returns back to source. And I am their source here. You know, I think we've all been put here for a reason. We're all having a lifetime here. And I will return back having completed whatever I was supposed to complete as best I could. Even if I can't finish everything I started. Because you don't get to guarantee your lifetime. You don't get to say how long it's going to be, how much time I'm going to have, or how easy the obstacles and challenges were, you know. It's a given that would be, if we're going to talk about it here, I'm going to go slightly off track because it's encompassing, I think. Like I said, I've took a distraction while I'm doing my gaming at the minute. We've got the devil card because it's a distraction, it's an addiction. And I've already spoke before, gaming is an addiction for me. But it's something I can control, and I literally can. But it does sidetrack me. But I was thinking yesterday, and I literally thought back, because I beat myself up about things a lot, like in terms of, you know, you're letting yourself down. Not from like a bad way. I don't do it to sort of like berate myself like some people do. They torment themselves, you know. They try and tell themselves they're worthless. I don't do none of that. I'm just like, I think, well, like, I consider myself a high achiever. So I always feel like there's the potential to do incredible things in this lifetime. Like, for instance, I could do 10, like even just something like that. Like I could do 10 books. Well, the potential is there to do 20. So maybe I'll do 20. There was a potential to do 30. You know, things like that. Like you could have always done more. So every time you do something that's not productive, it's a waste of your time and talent. That's what it is. So sometimes I'm hard on myself in that way. But I was thinking about like the gaming per se. Like I said, I could do the next book, but I'm gaming. That seems stupid. If you're talking about productivity, that's stupid. But where I am in my life, it's really hard and heavy. And I recognize it's a distraction. It's a different thing for me to pursue at the moment. But for that purpose, it's actually really healthy for me. So it can be seem destructive, but for me, it's it's like almost like I'm on the verge of, I'm bordering on depression because life's that hard. It gets hard, you know, and it really does. And I'm having to balance so much, especially finances. But you know, that doesn't make me vulnerable to the other side. It just means I have to find ways to cope. And in my coping mechanism for me is actually gaming and things, and I really like it, but it distracts my mind. I'm an overthinker, so it stops me thinking. If that makes sense. So I don't see it as a negative in the situation because I know it helps me get through it at this period, and then I'll be productive again. And I always feel that change in my body, you know, in my mind and everything. I always know that's coming. So very soon I'm going to jump back into the book and get it finished, the next one, and I'll be excited to do it. And it'll be like, because I've had that time to rebalance. If I didn't take that time out, I would have burnt out and drove myself mad. So my point really there is, it's like, don't be so hard on yourself. At times, you're going to have times when you're going to slow down. There's going to be times when people might think, well, that's not very productive. It's fine. It's fine, you know. Right, like I did another video, Rome wasn't built in a day. So things can take time. But it doesn't mean everybody who gets to the top of their mountain was corrupted, you know, because I see that a lot. Oh, anybody that's famous is corrupted. That's not the case. Come on, that's just stupid. There's going to be some people who do have their faculties in check. There's going to be people who are genuine, authentic, and they're already there. They're established. That's why I said not all of the entertainment industry, because you can't taint everybody with the same brush. Not everybody's easily corrupted. You know, some people do stay true to themselves. But it's discerning for yourself, you know. But I think beyond discerning for yourself, other people, is hold yourself accountable. Say, who am I and who do I want to be, you know? So for me, I consider myself a light warrior, a warrior of God, if you like, you know. So I live my life the right way for me. And I can't be corrupted by others. The only corruption I can have is with myself. So I am a little bit self-defeating. I have too much sugar. I know that because I have this like sugar craze. I like sugar. Look, so we all have, my point there is we all have our insecurities, our vulnerabilities, and our temptations, if you like. We all have something that's a bit destructive, I guess. But the only destruction with me is something that would be just self-imposed in that sense. You know, like where maybe I spend a little bit too much time gaming. Maybe I have too much of an indulgence towards sugar. But that's about it. You know, if it's talking about selling out because someone offers you a potload of money, I've already said this before, like, as money would help fix my situation, but money comes with its own problems. So if you don't gain money in the right way, your life's going to go spiraling quite rapidly. And then how much is enough? Let's say someone gives you $2 million, £2 million, whatever it is. So I saw that video on this, actually, weirdly enough. I don't want to go too deep because, again, I haven't got the footage. And again, whether it's true, who knows? But what a streamer agreed to some deal. I can't remember what it was. And as an initiation, other members who are very popular and wealthy, they all turn up and they're wearing robes, and they did some sort of ritual thing. And apparently, either that day or the next day, they had $2 million in their bank account. It's like, well, you know, I when I hear it, I'm going, that doesn't seem far-fetched to me at all. You know, that's crazy as shit. But the reality, even if you was to go that far, what happens when you need more? I mean, how much of yourself do you have to keep selling to keep having? It's like this stuff. Eventually, it's all so materialistic and superficial, isn't it? A lot of it is. I mean, obviously, there's a need for us to have money to survive, to thrive, and all that, and to opportunities. But don't sell yourself to do it. That's my point. If you get there naturally, you get there naturally. I would argue I've worked my ass off. I think I deserve success. And I don't see why, in any event, that I should have to sell out, should I say, to have that. I've already done the work. So for me, effectively, I feel there's blocks on me at the moment, and it's things either negative or positive. Could be for my own protection, but then it could be negative things don't want me being seen. Either way, when that block's finally lifted, I will have the opportunities that I've earned, and it's done the right way. So people might question it because, of course, you're going to question anyone that's successful. I've never doubted my success, but I've never ever doubted myself. You know, I always bet on myself, and I know I can be successful doing it the right way, the harder path, and I will be. So yeah, but that goes against the illusion, the other side paint, and the rituals, I guess, potential rituals, and all the other shit that goes with it. Yeah, because I believe that the light will win. This corrupted society can't continue forever. And it's important that we stay true to ourselves. And we hold that banner of truth and light, you know? Yeah, I'll get huge goosebumps now. And I say that, and you might think, oh, he's just saying it. I won't say it unless it's happening. I'm getting a heavy sensation over me right now. Anyway, so this is it. This is this is almost like, this is where we draw the line. This is like the battle between light and dark. It's like what side do people want to be on?